Working with actors as a director can be the most intimidating and also the most rewarding thing if you do it right. And how do you treat non-actors and action stars? Because believe me, they're not treated the same if you want results. So here are my small little tips and tricks how to work with different actors. I'm Titus Paar. I've directed movies for 23 years now, and my biggest success was the #1 Netflix in the US movie, The Perfect Weapon, but also done a lot of other shit. But I also worked with a lot of different categories of actors, and this is what I've learned. How to work with non-actors. When working with non-actors, kids or animals, you're out of control. Just face it. You can't give them directions like you can with a trained actor or even an amateur actor, because they don't know. My best tip is to not give them any character. If you want to use non-actors or kids, use them as they are, because you found the coolest person, or you're just starting out as a filmmaker and the only one you can get in your movie is your mom or your sister. Don't let your mom play a space captain. She won't know what to do, you know? She knows how to be a mom or whatever she is in life. Use that. And don't hire a chihuahua to play a lion, you know, because they don't know what to do. It's the same. It's the same. When you working with kids, I did a movie called The Han that was very successful, and the only reason why it was successful was because the relationship I built with the then 7-year-old leading actress. And what I did was, you can't do it like with the other actors. You have to go in on their terms and make them feel safe and just be themselves on screen and believe what's happening. So you gotta follow them into a play mode, because if the child starts feeling like scared or nervous or just want to please you, you're not gonna get any good results. But if you let them loose and just try to rein them in and speak a language like that they understand, you can work with a kid the same as you work with Robert De Niro. It's never gonna fly. But so, for example, with this girl, I was doing these scenes when she's supposed to be possessed and go from a cute little girl going into this possessed person by a demon. Hard stuff even for a professional actor. So instead of trying to give her the tricks that I would do with the lead, for example, that's a professional actress, I had to can you be completely still? Imagine you're a doll in this. So I really try to bring it down. So if you want to use non-actors, great. And I also encourage, even if you're in a professional setting, with other actors, it can be very beneficial to bring in non-actors, because what they do is to bring a sort of natural element, because they don't have all the bad qualities that actors do when they overacting sometimes. If you bring in a real person, it sort of livens it up a little bit and makes it more loose and natural. So I'm very much for not only using professional actors. Find cool characters out there and try to use them, see where they fit in your story. How to work with amateur actors. Now we all been there, following our passion, following our dream. And when you're working on lower budget movies, you usually come face to face with a lot of amateur actors, which is fine, but what you should realize is that you're the person that's giving them the ultimate chance that they've been looking for all their lives. And a lot of them don't realize they're not that good, they're amateurs for a reason. So what you really have to do as a director is to tone it down, because they're gonna be so excited to be there. They're gonna come from like different theater places and all that, and they're gonna super overact most of the time. There are of course exceptions, but usually, from my own experience, is they're always overdoing everything, because they really want to shine, and they want to be big, and they want to be wow, and they want to like be the lead of the scene because they're there, they finally got their opportunity. And you always have to look at everything as chess pieces, you know? They can't all be the bishop and all that. You need some pawns in there as well that doesn't steal too much of the attention, because everyone can't win a scene, you know? So when working with amateur actors, try to tone them down. Try to make them believable. That will be your biggest obstacle. But once you do, it's really cool when you work with the actors in the scene, you know, because they usually require a lot more direction than a professional actor. You can let loose a lot more. They want to know like how many steps to go there and all that. So when they feel secure and safe, that's where you get the best out of your amateur actors. And you can also train them on the spot. I've done this a lot of time when you're like, oh wow, felt real. It's like, yes, that's what we're going for. When it feels real, it's right. Don't overdo it. The less you do, the better it will be on screen, you know. How to work with professional or character actors. Now, this is the fun part. You worked your way up from working with your mom, the amateur actors. Now you're finally getting to work with the pros, you know, that's done this for years. They might or may not have educations, and it might been in some films. They're not stars yet, but they're professional actors, and they speak the language. This can be extremely intimidating if you're like a new director and you don't really speak the acting language. What I definitely would suggest that you do is take some acting classes or some improvisation, you know, so you speak the same language. I started out as an actor when I was 6, and I've done it for like many years on the theater stage and in movies as well. And now that's just a side hobby to me, but I speak the language of actors, and it makes it so much easier because I know what they want and I know what they don't want, which is a big thing. And what they don't want is you to give them too much direction. As a director, you often think you have to super explain everything into detail. What it does, though, is confusing the actors a lot of time. If you give them too much, I mean, I've been on sets when the directors, they feel like they have to convey their thing so much, so they give these big monologues, and the actors just look lost. They want really super simple directions, and they want clarity. Okay, what do you want? And my biggest tip that I find very helpful and that I enjoy as an actor on set is, you know, I know you know the story as the director, but these guys have been back, if they're good, and they've been studying, building their character arcs, you know, the backstories, and they have come up with this thing. If you take them onto location and you're like, okay, this is what you're doing, you need to walk there, you need to think this, you need to do that, you will never see what they have thought of in their bedroom or in front of the mirror and doing this and this. Then they're like, oh shit, because they want to please you. That's what an actor wants to do usually if they're good. So what I do is I always block it first, and then I'll let them loose. Because then magic can happen, you know? Like, say minimal stuff, like I want you to be around here because we're going to have the camera, but try it. Give me what you think. And they're like, oh, and then they feel like, oh, I'm part of this. I'm actually getting to do what I thought in my head and all that. So they're acting it out. Sometimes it's awesome. And then you're like, tweak this, can you pause there a little bit more and all that. Or they're completely wrong. And that's fine too. Then you're like, oh yeah, that's interesting. Always thank them for bringing these ideas and stuff. And I'll say, no, that sucks, man, that sucks. Because then you're going to be vulnerable in a vulnerable place. Because yes, most actors are extremely vulnerable people. So be aware and be pampering. But be clear and like, yes, thank you for doing that. I want to try this instead. Then you're not like fighting each other, but you're working together. Can we try this? How about if we do that? What do you think? Can you just try that? And then you're like, oh yeah, that's great. Because then they know. They're like, oh, they're getting validated. And they love that. Actors love validation, you know. So, let them do their thing. And it's so easy to tweak them into the right path. How to work with action stars. You did it. You finally got your shot. You're on set trying to direct an action movie. Yeah! Be prepared to be disappointed. Because action stars and actors are very different people. They are super pampered, super egotistic most of the time. They're all different. But from my own experience, I worked with a few. Some of the worst and biggest in the business. But they don't look at the character usually. What they look is how they are perceived in the public eye and to their fans. That's a huge difference from working with a character actor or the professional actor that sees their arc as the story. That's their trajectory, trying to be the character, and whatever the character would do, they're fine with it, even if it's like standing nude or kissing some people of the same gender, you know. When the action star is like, oh, I can't do that, then I'm perceived to be gay in the public eye and I can't have that image. And you're like standing there, yeah, but it's not you. You're a character, you know? So that's a huge thing, you know, that you should be prepared for if you ever get the chance to work with these guys, that they don't see the character in the first room. They see their big arc as this action hero, tough guy, you know? No, I worked with Steven Seagal, I worked with Johnny Messner, all these big action guys from the olden days, and they're all the same, you know. And if you want to like give them acting opportunities, they always say they want that in interviews and all that, but when it comes down to it, like here, it's completely different. I want to name names, you know, but they're on the A-list board, and they like read the script like, no, I can't be this weak. No, like, oh, but it's different. It's different to what you've done before. No, my fans would never believe that I would take this punch here. And they even have it in their contract, you know, that their characters has to be in the realm what they would say as this image that they have, and they can't get punched and they can't die and all that. So that's all part of their stick. But what you do get, so you get a lot of attention for your movie. My movie wouldn't be #1 on Netflix if I didn't have Steven Seagal as the villain. You know, he was a nightmare to work with. He had monitors standing right there. You know, a girl holding up his lines. Not that he reads them. That's also why he has this piss yellow glasses, because he's like, yeah, that's what we're gonna do. And it says something about, yeah, we're gonna take down the the uprising, but he's like, I believe in the power of good and the universal powers of kung fu, you know. And it's very hard to work with these people. You should definitely be prepared for that. Getting past their egos and getting them to trust you and try to do something different with their career is nearly impossible, but you can have fun with it, you know. I even got Steven Seagal to kill himself in a samurai scene, which was ridiculous, but a lot of fun, and it's like belonging in cinema history right now. So if you get the chance to work with the action stars, be aware there's a lot of obstacles to get past, and they probably just want to do their own thing.